Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage, is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? Was good, everybody listening?
Oh yeah. Also joining us, it is our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
Hey. Oh boy, we're all here. The gang's all here for a new episode of the show. Very excited to get into it. We have a bunch of crazy shit to talk about in this week of manga. But before we get into that, let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh. That's on X. Formerly known as Twitter. Hold that, Brian.
Brian, that's what it's called. He wants us to call it that. Where can we find you, Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, you can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Instagram and Twitter. And you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll answer it on our pre-show chat show that we didn't do this week because of time constraints. But we do it pretty much every other week. It's the show where we just kind of like talk about random shit. Sometimes it's anime and manga, sometimes it's just movies we've seen or whatever. So check that out. We answer questions on there. So hell yeah, you could do that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm getting the backlog of episodes that I've neglected to upload up there. There's been an episode out every day so far, so check us out on that. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff on there. Email. You could also not email. You could subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts audibly. Because this is pretty much an audio-only podcast for the time being, as I am waiting to get a new computer soon. So do all that stuff. I think that's it for plugs. Let's get the show on the road. One Piece. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1107. I've been looking for you. And last we left off,
Alternate title. Sorry. You ready? Okay. Brian's been looking for you.
Hello? Yes,
Brian?
It's me.
Yes.
It's me, Brian.
Why has Brian been looking for? Well, we'll get to
He
it.
loves the Giants the most out of. Okay.
Speaking of which, last we left off in One Piece, the battle on Egghead is intensifying. And they are the Straw Hats are desperately trying to find a means of escape. It's not looking good for them, but at the same time, we have the arrival of the giant pirates. That's Dory, whoa, Dory, Bragi, Kashi, and Oimo are all here, along with the rest of the giant pirates, and they're fucking shit up. They are taking on an entire Buster Call. Just fucking shit up left and right. It's not looking good. Usopp takes a look and he's like, "Oh my god, it's my guys! They came!" It was a very nice moment for Usopp. We get a little
Very nice moment.
Huh?
Other people in the podcast as well.
I'm always happy to see the Giants,
The Aspinall Bros and One Piece Giants go hand in hand.
Oh, you don't like the Giants?
I'm Dory.
I like the Giants, but you guys love them.
I
And I
like the
respect
Giants.
Hey, you guys like Smash Bros. The game. I love the game. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this shit.
You love the
That was
game, but
fair.
I still watch you every time we play, don't we?
That's not even close to true.
Well, anyway, the Giants are here. They're fucking shit up for the Straw Hats. Brooke is actually kind of approaching the edge of the Egghead barrier. And he's just drinking tea. He's just like, we'll be right back. Don't worry about it. Jinbei is still on his way to find Zoro, who is currently fighting Lucci. What were you saying, Josh?
Jimbeezy.
Jimbeezy. Yeah.
Jinbei Beasley.
Jimbeezy. Zoro is still fighting Lucci. Lucci is like, you will never get out of here. Blah. You're a pack of fools unable to cut loose a single member for the good of the rest. As long as you're still alive, your friends are trapped here. And Zoro says that you say that as though you're in control of how long we fight, Rob Lucci. The pacifistas are continuing to attack Navy ships. Multiple Chin Man is like just yelling about how the fact they have to destroy their own military weapons in order to get on the island. Luffy is back with Bonnie. He is currently up against Saturn and Saint Saturn, and she's like, "Oh my god, I've been looking for you." And Luffy's like, "I've been here the whole time." He's like, "But I didn't know you were Nika." He's like, "I wanted to hit him with a rubber punch just like yours. Show me how to do it." And I didn't even notice this, but Luffy's noticing Vegapunk dying on the floor. It's so he's like, "Whoa, Vegapunk!" So Luffy uses his Dawn Gatling, just punching out Saint Jay Garcia, and sends him fucking flying. Bonnie tries to pick up Vegapunk, but Vegapunk's like, no, don't do that. I'll die immediately, please, if I move. Kizaru pulls up, is like, you'll die whether you move or not. Accept your fate. And, Straw Hat Kizaru over here shoots a beam at Vegapunk.
All right.
Okay. No, you guys had to eat it.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fine.
He is going to become a Straw Hat. I still believe it.
Yeah, Sanji comes in and he blocks.
They haven't broken through to him yet.
Okay, Sanji comes in and kicks his blast away. Kizaru is shocked. He's like, "Ooh."
Yeah, that's the first time he's ever made that face, mind you. And it's due to Sanji, which is Sanji stocks are now up.
Let's go, Sanji. I'm here for it, Sanji.
And I'm so upset how they was making a big deal of he blocked light. Yeah, he's kicked a lot of other bullshit in this series.
Yeah, Sanji has hockey.
Why are we making a thing of this now? Right?
No, but this is different because Kizaru is going for a kill shot there. That's.
Oh, you mean Straw Hat Kizaru?
Really? Huh?
No.
He's trying. He was trying to kill there, and Sanji just blocked it.
And that's fair. See, I'm willing to take it as it's a big deal that he blocked the Admiral's hit. But the wording was that he blocked light, which was that's what we're going to emphasize?
Well, I guess up to this point, the only person we've seen block Kizaru in his light form is Rayleigh. So,
and even Rayleigh didn't even block it. He just redirected it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue Sanji's boots are shiny and have a mirror-like effect, so that
that's what some people are saying too, but that's not the case.
I think Sanji just uses hockey, and it's that simple.
Yeah. It's either that or he used his latent genetics.
Well, I think he did actually because his eyebrows.
He's supposed to go invisible, and
Well, he's not invisible with his Vegapunk genetics, is he?
Yeah. No, but his body is supposed to go invisible. That's his power up, right?
That's his stealth. That's with his his fighter suit, but without it, he's not.
Fucking threw away like an asshole. I'm still upset about that.
By the way,
no, he would have been an asshole if he did take it.
By the way, he is in his Germa type power up right now because his eyebrow is now inverted.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
I don't fucking pay attention to One Piece at all.
It's really subtle because they don't bring attention to it when it first happened way back in Wano, when he was fighting Queen. But when he was like concerned about losing his humanity and he was like becoming more metal, his eyebrow inverted to this direction, indicating that he is more like them now. But when in his normal, when he's not using his abilities granted by the Germa, his eyebrow is back to where it usually is. So I think he is just
right, and we can tell because he covers his eyebrow with his hair normally, so it'll show.
No, the eyebrow that's showing right now is supposed to be like the curl is supposed to be on the other side.
Okay.
So whenever he uses his Germa, it inverts to the other side. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You can see it in this panel here on page 13, right at the bottom.
Yeah, when he says love is stronger than light.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. All right, I just said it weird, but yeah, it's normally his regular eyebrow is not exposed. It is exposed, and it's the swirly one that's covered with the hair. That's
no, that eyebrow is usually exposed now. That's his like post time skip look. In pre-time skip,
post time skip look is that he lets his swirl show.
In the post time skip change for Sanji was his little beard, and also the other side of his face is now covered, where this is now the other side of the face that was originally covered in the pre-time skip. The original side is covered, is now not covered post time skip. He just switched partings, I guess.
Okay.
In his
I'm a little confused. More confused than I really should be about this, but I get it.
Yeah, I wish I was there so I could just like draw you a picture of how Sanji's eyebrows actually go.
All right. So how about you just listen to me? Pre-time skip, he hid the swirl.
No, pre-time skip, the side of his face that's covered now was not covered. But the side of his face that's currently not covered was covered. So
so I'm saying, but his
the left side of his face was covered by his hair in pre-time skip. The post time skip is
right. He covered the swirl pre-time. I understand that when he activates his mode, he switches. I know that already. That's why I'm trying to make sure. Like before, he used to cover the swirl. Then after the time skip, he stopped covering the swirl.
No, the swirl is always there. We've seen the swirl. The swirl is part of this.
Now I get it. So he always covers the swirl, but because he's in this mode, it's switched. So he never stopped covering the swirl up.
No, the swirl's always there. The swirl is just on the other side of his brow. The swirl now.
I'm willing to just move forward.
I'll show you. I'll show you later.
I'm thoroughly confused.
I'll show you what I mean.
It's mostly my fault.
I'll show you what I mean.
Help,
Brian, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it's like his swirls are in the same direction, but they're like.
He only ever had one eyebrow swirl, right?
He has
only one.
No, technically both of his eyebrows swirl.
Oh,
they swirl in the same direction. So like, the middle of his forehead has a swirl, and then the right side of his forehead has a swirl.
I'll show you pictures.
They don't, right? They're not like a mirror reflection of each other.
No. They're just asymmetrical.
Oh wow, that's fucked up.
Anyway,
the whole family's like that, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole family has eyebrows like that, except for Judge. But we've not seen Judge's eyebrows, so we don't know.
Sora didn't have the eyebrows either, so I guess he's the one who has it.
Sora?
Yeah, that's Sanji's mom.
Oh, right. Yeah, no.
That's obscure.
It's because I recently read it.
Yeah, Sora didn't have the swirl, right?
No, she didn't.
Yeah, so I guess they get it from Judge. We've never seen his eyebrows, so it's possible that
or maybe it's a product of the
Germa
of the super genes.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a lot of time spent on Sanji's eyebrows physics.
It was,
but we'll get to it later. Anyway, he blocks Kizaru's light beam, Everybody is shocked, and the rest of the team takes the opportunity to move, leaving Vegapunk, Sanji, and Luffy behind to take on Kizaru. Kizaru is just thinking like, oh god, this sucks. This is kind of embarrassing. I've got to at least take your heads back with me to save any face. And Sanji's just like,
be losing to the fourth best.
Yeah.
Crew. Third best, I mean.
Yeah, Sanji's like, better start writing up your formal apology then. It's a good line. Anyway, it's finally time for that Blackbeard subplot to pay off. As Jay Garcia is lying on the ground after getting socked by Luffy, he gets up and we see that Katarina, Devon, and Van Augur are now before him. Van Augur's everywhere. I think he's been in pretty much almost every incident so far, except for maybe the Pirate Island one.
Yeah. And I guess we kind of know now. Why now?
Yeah, because of his warp abilities. So, Katarina pulls up and is like, oh, I wonder what kind of powers are these? Murun. I had to try her laugh out.
Yeah, every time they introduce a laugh for the first time.
Yeah, a Murun. I've never... And she's like, I've never heard of the five elders coming down to the real world from their lofty perch. And then she touches Saint Garcia's leg, Jay Garcia's leg. And she's like, there, mission complete. And Jay Garcia's like, I must admit, I did not expect to see you savages from level 6 submitting to another leash. And she's like, well, teach is special, And Garcia's like, as is his bloodline. Interesting. And he's like, oh, you're aware of that? You people are always up to strange business. What are you really after? And Van Augur says, the world. Jay Garcia tries to stomp them, and Van Augur just teleports. Jay Garcia's upset, I know it. He's like, fuck. So, Van Augur doesn't teleport off the island. He only teleports a short while away because I guess he's not used to his powers fully. But that's when wet-haired Caribou shows up and ends the chapter by pleading with Van Augur and Katarina to take him to Blackbeard because he's always dreamt of being part of the Blackbeard Pirates. And that's where the chapter ends. Wow, lots of stuff going on here. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1107?
Yeah, this some interesting stuff going on with Blackbeard's crew. So I did not realize that she touched him, or that it was emphasized that she touched him. That's gotta be something there.
There is. Katarina, you remember Katarina's devil fruit?
You know what? Well, she has the nine-tailed fox fruit. What?
Yep. And she has the ability to transform into other people.
Oh, maybe that's the condition. She has to make contact with them.
Mm-hmm. So now she can effectively turn into a 5 elder. Which is pretty devastating.
That is. And that she can use their powers too.
We don't know that much yet. We know that she can transform into them.
Yeah, that's significant, though. Even to just be able to replicate his appearance.
Yeah. Jay Garcia fucked up by coming here. That was fucked up.
That
was a huge error.
Caribou is the agent for the Straw Hats.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna jack. Straw Hat Caribou?
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've been saying that wet hair is
I know.
important to this Straw Hat crew.
Yeah. If somebody crosses the road in front of the Straw Hats, all of a sudden they're a Straw Hat.
So. I just have to like them enough. That's how that goes. I can't speak for Brian, but and they have to have a role for the crew. That's always a thing. And no one's as wet as Caribou, so that's a pretty, what I'm saying? Like,
I have a theory. I have a theory that
you're the wettest person on the crew.
I have a theory that Karibo is still gonna end up on the Straw Hats.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like not like as the crew member, but he's just bound to be stuck on the ship with them.
That would be funny. I mean,
like he wants to join the Blackbeard Pirates, and he still ends up stuck with the Straw Hats.
That would be very funny because no matter what, he always just ends up in a barrel.
Yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. It would be so fucking funny.
I'm disappointed that Zoro's still fighting the Jaguar. Is he injured or hurt right now or something? Do we have?
No, I think he's just like. I think he's just holding him back.
Yeah, he did keep saying like, "Oh, you're making it sound
Zoro?
like you're in control of the fight."
Zoro's holding back. Zoro's holding him back on purpose.
Yeah,
right. Because like when
why doesn't he just beat him?
Because he's an awakened Zoan, so he'll just get up in like 5 minutes anyway and come back. So if he just
are you being spiteful or
no? It's true.
Okay.
This is a thing that's been known about awakened Zoans since Impel Down. Remember?
No, I don't. But
I actually don't remember that.
So the awakened Zoans, like the jailer beasts, they mentioned that they're awakened Zoans. So they when they get knocked unconscious, they don't stay down. They get back up like in a shorter time span. So if he just straight up murks fucking Lucci here, Lucci will just get up soon and be a thorn in everybody's side. So it's about timing. Now I don't know why Zoro would know this, but it makes sense that he would be doing that because he's only using 2 swords. He doesn't have the bandana. He's not even using that much hockey. So the only reason why he would be doing this is if he's holding him back on purpose. But Zoro stocks are still down because of it.
You're definitely not on the rise. Say that. Whatever. I'm not too upset about that. It's just the way that's what he was saying. It's like you're unable to cut a single member for the good of the rest. As long as you're still alive, your friends are trapped here. Yeah, Lucci, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think what he's saying is that like Zoro is keeping them there because he won't like leave. Like the Straw Hats won't leave without him, and that's just gonna fuck them over later.
But Lucci doesn't know that Zoro is holding back. Well, maybe he does now.
Oh man.
But maybe he just thinks it's also like a benefit that Zoro's also out of the fight. So they're kind of both holding each other down here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, Brian and Chris, and to those listening. Zoro stocks it down for me. Right in this moment. I'm not feeling this shit at all.
It probably takes a lot more effort to keep someone in the same spot than to just defeat them right away, which is why he's kind of tired.
Yeah.
Jinbei even said now it's not the time to be fighting.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
Get at Zolo.
Yeah, no, Jinbei is going out to get Zoro.
Yeah, Zoro doesn't know what the situation is. He doesn't even know that this guy is here, that Saturn is here.
Is that right?
I don't think so.
Was he not there?
No, I don't think so, because he was fighting Lucci. He's been fighting Lucci for a while.
Yeah, this whole fucking second part of this arc. They fought Lucci and them woke up man long ago.
I think it would be so sick if Sanji and Zoro both fight Luffy's opponents from this arc. Like Sanji fights Kizaru, and right now, Zoro's fighting Lucci.
That would be sick.
I mean, yeah. So shit. It looks like Kizaru's about to fight Luffy and Sanji.
Yeah, but I think
I really want Sanji and Frankie to fight.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah, I think Jay Garcia's back up, so he'll probably rejoin the battle, and it'll be Luffy versus Jay Garcia, Sanji versus Kizaru, and Zoro's gonna finish off Lucci.
Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind a little bit. Maybe Luffy and Sanji will fight. Well, it'll probably be a 3-on-2. It'll probably be something like that.
Mm.
I want Frankie to kind of like take it personal that Vegapunk was killed, or at least the Stella, you know.
Yeah.
Garcia did that and put them through all of that. I want him to take it personal and show out. With
No, believe me, I want a cool Frankie moment as well.
I mean, Frankie did.
I mean, I'm giving my thoughts.
He did kind of fuck over Garcia. Oh, is it my turn for a recap? I mean, for my thoughts.
Sure. Yeah.
So, as I mentioned before, Sanji stocks are up, Zoro stocks are down. I think this is a pretty high. The stocks for Sanji are pretty high right now after this, because Sanji blocked a Kizaru attack. Not only blocked it, but also it was a pretty strong Kizaru attack, and it kind of warranted a reaction from Kizaru that we've never seen before in the series. So, good on Sanji, dude. That's big time moves right there. It was a pretty sick moment. I hope that, we get that next arc, next chapter is just Sanji versus Kizaru, or Sanji and Frankie versus Kizaru, which would be sick. Zoro stocks are down, but personally, I think it makes sense for Zoro to be holding him back here, but I just don't know if he actually does know about that tidbit of Awakened Zoans, because he wasn't there for Impel Down. So how else would he know? Because he didn't really fight any other Awakened Zoans either. King wasn't an Awakened Zoan. So it's kind of odd. Kind of odd that he would know that. But again, it would be sick if he does. Luffy there's been a lot of controversy about Luffy this chapter, though.
Why?
This chapter 2? Is
it
the same?
So people are upset that Luffy is not taking the situation seriously.
We've talked about this already. All right, I'm not gonna entertain this.
I think it's cool personally that he has this swag.
They're mad that Luffy. They're mad that Luffy asked Bonnie why she's crying, and they're mad that he reacted to Vegapunk's dead body or dying body on the ground the way he did.
Look, I think Oda actually talked about this in one of the question corners of his, and he made the point about how the more dire and the more serious the situation is, the goofier Luffy is as a contrast. So I think it's definitely intentional. He's not just being silly. And he's also that's the whole point of Nika, is that he is just a bright light in dangerous situations. And in the more hopeless situation, the goofier he'll be, because that's just what the god is built up to be.
Yeah.
He even hit him with a Gatling. He hit him with one of his serious moves. You know what I'm saying? That was
just because he's doing it with a smile.
Yeah, Luffy will have plenty of time to be angry and shit later on.
Yeah, because
about the history of the world and all that extra shit.
Because that's what we need more of: protagonists that get angry, that get stronger the more angry they are. We've never seen that before.
On the flip side, Van Auger's stocks are up.
Van Auger's a beast. He's
yeah.
I've always liked Van Auger.
Oh man, he's gotta fight. He's gotta fight Sanji, man. I mean, that's Sanji. Usopp. That's gotta be it.
That's also a controversial take, because now people they really want Usopp to get an upgrade because Van Auger is just too cool to lose to him at this point.
I've got bad news, because Oda has no intentions of making Usopp very, very strong. He's mentioned it before. And frankly,
he doesn't need to be.
He just needs observation.
I think that's the point of Usopp, is the stronger. He's going to be a brave warrior of the sea, because he is not the strongest guy in the crew, and he's about to circle the entirety of the Grand Line, despite being one of the weakest people.
Yeah.
And it's not like Usopp's like worthless. I recently reread. I finished like Thriller Bark not too long ago, and it's probably like the best Usopp fight in the whole series. It's actually very good.
What, Perona?
Yeah, his fight against Perona is so good. I forgot how good that one was. But Usopp's whole thing is that he's just resourceful and he'll just fucking figure it out. Because he doesn't want to die more than anything.
We love Usopp in this house.
Yeah, we're Usopp stands here.
But this chapter also raised a lot of questions about Blackbeard and his lineage. Some people say he's actually he's part of the three-eyed tribe. Some people say he's a buccaneer, which I'm not buying.
I don't think he's a buccaneer either.
I just wonder, like, is it a new race that we haven't seen yet? Is it just like a random irregularity?
Could he be Rox's kid?
Birth? He could be Rox's kid. That's also an option.
That's my guess.
Or he could be a descendant of Joy Boy too.
Well, you know, because he said is a bloodline. So, and I remember something that Oda would sometimes draw like characters as children in like the volumes. And when he drew Blackbeard as a kid, there's like the moon there, and Luffy's the sun. So I feel like there's definitely going to be something of a contrast with that.
I think the Yami Yami no Mi is going to be the devil fruit that he hasn't awakened yet. Like I'm pretty sure he's just at the surface level of both his devil fruits right now.
Yeah.
So obviously because he kind of doesn't need to really dive deep into his devil fruits because they're both so strong. He doesn't even need Haki at this point, but the anime kind of confirmed that he has conquerors. It's just like it's a very peculiar situation.
Yeah,
like
we just don't know anything about this guy. So
yeah, the fact that we still don't know anything about him is so fucking mind-boggling to me. I really want to get into the thick of it. You know, I really want to know what the fuck is going on with this guy. But we finally got an idea of what his motives are, and it looks like he wants to take over the fucking world. Which, mind you, that was a fucking hard ass line from Van Auger.
Yeah. The world.
And I feel like if it were like he was the perfect person on the Blackbeard Pirates to deliver that line, because everyone else you can't really take them seriously like you can Van Auger or maybe even Lafitte, which wherever the fuck he is.
Yeah, I definitely thought he would be here.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it looks like he's a Blackbeard pirate that rolls solo for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. One Piece greatness, dude.
Yeah, lots of cool shit going on here. It's pretty much my second place this week. I think My Heart Was Stolen by Another this week. But man, there's just so much going on here, and this Egghead arc is so fucking awesome. I'm very excited to see how they escape this whole situation. I do love that Brook was like a low key a little bit of a highlight for me because like the ship is uncontrollably sailing on his ice, and he's just like, we'll get there when we get there. Brook is mad funny. I hope Vegapunk doesn't die, but I guess he might. He might very well die since they can't even move him. But yeah, my guess for Blackbeard is that he may be Rox's kid because he said it's his bloodline, so that indicates, you know, he's related to someone who's very important. Hell, he could be like someone who's related to Emu.
Yeah, his race. They don't sleep. That's the idea I got from that baby picture.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know the
Blackbeard doesn't sleep. That much has already been known for sure.
Yeah, it has something to do with that. But anyway, what you were saying.
Yeah, but Sanji kicking the light beam was pretty sick. I always love a good Sanji moment. It's always so cool. Let's go, Sanji. Let's get Sanji a fucking big time W. I'd be here for it. There's 3 admirals, you know? Sanji could have one.
I agree.
But yeah, that's all I really got to say about One Piece. I think we like all chatted it out. Great chapter overall. Had a great time reading it. Can't wait for next week. Thank God it's not on break. So, you know, we'll revisit One Piece next week. Great chapter. Let's move onward.
This is just some really murderous shit.
My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 414, Overlay. Last we left with My Hero Academia, the All for One users formulated a plan to break Shigaraki's psyche by shooting the quirks of One for All directly into his psyche, basically, just like a missile, by way of transferring parts of the quirk over to him. So Midoriya goes into his super Blackwick mode, and he makes his way towards Shigaraki. A lot of this chapter is this big battle, this clash between Shigaraki and Midoriya, as Midoriya is trying to forcefully shoot the gear shift quirk into Shigaraki. So they run at each other, and Shigaraki tries to use his decay on the Earth's surface again, but Midoriya has planned for that a little while ago. When he was sent flying through the woods, he shot strands of black chain under the ground, and just now used it to raise the earth that Shigaraki would be touching up, so that it wouldn't affect the earth at large. He then does this like cool misdirect thing with his cloak by taking advantage of Shigaraki's search quirk and implanting a little bit of his blood into the cloak, so it just feels like, you know, when Shigaraki uses search, he sees that Midoriya is there when it's really not. Kind of like a substitution jutsu, if that helps the analogy. But you know, by the time Shigaraki realizes this, Deku is right there, right up on him, and he finally makes contact with Shigaraki, shooting the Seconds quirk directly into his mind, and the resulting impact causes Shigaraki's and Deku's memories to blend together, and they end up on these like landscapes of their memory, you know, like the first time that Shigaraki met Dabi and Toga. For Midoriya, it's the point where he's fighting Todoroki in the sports festival. So, you know, they're taken aback by this, but Shigaraki is like, whoa! Oh, not Shigaraki, the 6th user of One for All. Is like, don't let up. It worked. The second pulled it off, but it wasn't enough. Keep it coming. And that's pretty much where the chapter ends. It feels like shorter than it is, but there's a lot of action in this chapter and a lot of explaining of the strategies going on here to get closer to him. But yeah, this is a short chapter as well, 16 pages. But yeah, that was My Hero Academia. Josh, what did you think?
This was an interesting chapter. The more this fight goes on, becoming less and less cynical about what I'm looking at. I feel like I've said that, you know, before, maybe a few weeks ago, but I think the strategy is interesting. Of just being able to transfer the, you know, not only the blowback of gear shift, but just the chance to exploit that opening that's within Shigaraki. Aside from all of that, I like how the previous users of One for All make a point that Deku really cares about the quirks he was using. You know, I don't know how. I'm not sure how you guys feel about the whole situation in general, but I thought like it does make a lot of sense that someone that again didn't have quirks that has suddenly had all of these quirks sprung on him, wants to treat them like like they're precious. So it just shows how determined he is to defeat Shigaraki, to cross that line. And for me, it's a big deal personally because I felt so disconnected from the development of Deku and his quirks because I thought it happened really fast and out of nowhere. And I would have liked a lot more time with each of them, like I would have liked them to unlock them over time. But this, I don't know, the way it's being expressed in this fight, it makes me care a lot less about it. You already know the art is fire.
As per usual.
Yeah. I don't really have too much else to say. Brian, what are your thoughts?
I thought this was a pretty creative chapter. It's more than just Deku running in and punching, he actually used strategy. Like he actually used his fucking brain, which I think was always his fucking power, like he was always supposed to be an analytical fighter, but I feel like the series never let him be that, right? Like he always ended up destroying his body. He always ended up, trying to punch Max his way out of situations, but I feel like this fight is the most Deku I feel like he's been, where he just uses everything to everything he has to his disposal, right? Like he used smoke. He proved that it was a useful quirk in this situation. He combined it with, he brought the earth up to Shigaraki to confuse him. So he uses decay. Like it was just so well played. That was really, really fucking smart. Like technique from Deku. And I'm glad that we at least got this moment, like we got a moment where Deku is being him, even with the series having all of its faults, right? Like every time something good happens in My Hero, you could see like the diamond in the rough. Like you could see what it could have been, right? If whatever happened to the series didn't happen. It's just such an odd case, right? Because My Hero could have been like a well, it kind of is a generational series, but it could have been so much more. Like I feel like it could have been a series that tackled so many issues that happen in everyday life, and it attempted to, but it seems like it just got halted. And I just hope that it can at least finish strong, because the art's always there. It's just the story needs to stick the landing. Like it had a shaky walk on the way there, but if it sticks the landing, I feel like I'll be happy with it. But those are my thoughts on My Hero. Great chapter.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that Deku's like drastically changed. Honestly, Deku himself has always been a bright spot of the series, even like through the harder times. I think it's just because there was so much more emphasis on the other quirks and learning them that we didn't get to see Deku be like overly strategical with them up until this point. But yeah, this is a really cool moment for him, and it's like Josh said, that moment where they mentioned that he has a deep respect for quirks is very consistent with his character, because even when he was quirkless, he was just constantly taking notes and trying to learn about them. And, even when he had One for All, he would take notes on other people's quirks and look at them as if they were the greatest thing in the world. That enthusiasm for people's quirks did not fade even when he got the best one ever. So it's really cool to see, and it is at the core of Deku's character, is him being forever, I guess, kind of grateful for the power that he had, not knowing that he would get he would ever get powers. You know, it comes from just like being on the other side and not having power at all, to understanding this responsibility of it all. It's really cool. The fight itself is actually sick as hell. It was cool to see Deku do a cool punch, and the effects of it, I didn't see coming at all. I wonder how like the melding of the memories is gonna impact him.
He's gonna punch Shigaraki so many times that he gets to the point where All For One finds him, and then he's gonna punch All For One.
Oh yeah,
to save Tenko. Well, yeah, that's his name, right?
Tenko.
Yeah, he's gonna punch him, and he's gonna be like, "I'm here.
I am here in your memories." Because this didn't really happen this way.
Yeah, Deku's gonna be the hero that saved him.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna like keep hitting each other until like they're kids again. And then Deku's gonna do a little thing where he like puts out his hand. He's like, "You look like you need help."
Yeah.
And then they're gonna argue for a second, but then eventually he's gonna like take his hand and save the day. That's my theory for the rest of the series. But yeah, really good chapter, man. Not really good chapter of the week yet, but pretty solid. Had a good time reading it.
Yeah, pretty solid.
It's a pretty solid chapter of the week. But yeah, that's all. Those are all my thoughts as well. Do we have any rebuttals? Anything else we want to say?
Nopers.
Alrighty, then let's move onward.
This is part of the war in the Bronx.
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 251, Inhuman Makio Shinjuku Showdown part 23. All right, so last we left off, we are continuing the battle between Okotsu and Itadori versus Sukuna. It's been pretty epic so far. They have been trying to just like wear him down and dispel the hollow wicker basket within Okotsu's domain. And we just revealed that Okotsu is capable of using dismantle. And Sukuna is like, "When did you do this?" And Okotsu's like, "Sukuna's fingers, you never recovered the last one." And it's revealed that, Okotsu ate Sukuna's final finger. What a goddamn twist. So that was cool. Itadori continues to punch him. They lay down the lumber pretty hard. They keep taking advantage of it. But Sukuna manages to grab onto Itadori and use his curse technique on him. But Itadori just spits like a gallon of blood in his face, blinding him temporarily. And they keep pounding on this guy, man. They keep laying on the pressure. And at some point, Sukuna is forced to just release his fingers that are keeping the hollow wicker basket activated. And Itadori and Okotsu take that chance to separate his hands. Itadori taking one hand, Rika taking the other. Okotsu comes in and punches into his mouth belly and rips out his mouth belly's tongue. And yeah, that was for the purposes of like making sure he can't use any like chance or anything to reactivate hollow wicker basket. And he also like cuts Sukuna's mouth, so he still can't do the chance with his mouth either. And Sukuna gets close, and he gives him a little slash. The blood explodes on Sukuna's face as Itadori is apparently using Choso's technique now. Sukuna cuts off his hand. Oh, not Sukuna. Okotsu cuts off Sukuna's hand, and we get a little flashback explaining about souls and how they mix to some degree, but they never become one. And they're discussing this about whether or not they can possibly save Megumi within Sukuna. the idea that perhaps Sukuna can absorb Megumi's soul into his own. But according to Yuki Tsukumo's notes, that's not necessarily possible. So the idea now is that, they should be able to separate Megumi and Sukuna with Jacob's ladder, which with Itadori's fist. So, that's what they're going to try to do. They use Jacob's ladder on Sukuna, which gives Itadori the opening to finally get into his soul, and he arrives at Megumi, and Megumi is just on the floor, just like, enough already. That's enough. And, Megumi's will to live is done. And unfortunately, the window to beat Sukuna closes as Sukuna uses Dismantle again, cutting Okotsu and Itadori pretty badly. But the chapter ends with a sudden stab in Sukuna's heart coming from the fucking goat herself, Maki. Very cool. And she's just behind him after stabbing him in the heart. And that's where the chapter ends. Geez Louise, Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 251?
RGC.
Oh, yeah.
RGC.
Oh, yeah.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Gigi has a way of always having a justifiable out to a situation. I wish I had prepared more and brought up certain examples, or none are really coming to my head, but regardless, they beat Sukuna. Let's be clear. They won. The mission worked out, and it was because of a lot of reasons due to Itadori's hard work and also the cheating. You know what I'm saying? All of that was valid. And it just, you see, Sukuna planned for that. Mm-hmm. Not like on some diabolical, like, oh, I'm going to lose. And then when they try to wake up Megumi, X, Y, Z, he just took that precaution. He knew that was important. He said, before I even get into any big fights or nothing like that, let me make sure I crush this kid's soul so I have this solid foundation. And that happened for a reason, and that reason was here. And it sucks, man, because I don't want to be that guy. I think Okotsu just got sliced in fucking half. Way too soon for me. I'm still processing and hoping, but like, I don't know. You guys tell me.
Frankly, it's triggering.
You guys tell me when. Yeah. It's
you see Rika triggering. Back there too?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. Rika didn't look too devastated. She looked scarred up, but she's a cursed spirit, so it's whatever. You know what I mean? Listen, whatever. She'll be alright. She'll just go back into the shadows, okay? Okotsu, bro.
It's not looking good for Okotsu, no.
Yeah, it's not looking good, and we're gonna chill. We're gonna chill on.
We're gonna chill. I'm not gonna give him the death thing yet.
Yeah, we're gonna chill. We're gonna relax. But that aside, Megumi. Not Megumi. Maki. Where were you? Why couldn't you just slide up into this barrier and just do that before all this shit hit the fan?
That could have possibly given Sukuna an out if she broke into this domain.
Yeah, and she also she can come into a domain, but she can't use cursed energy or reverse curse technique. So if Sukuna got her once, she's dead.
Yeah, she had. I mean, I came to this realization already, which I'm gonna just talk about anyway. Is that Heavenly Restriction is amazing. It is. It's incredible, but like, it's not much compared to a sorcerer like Sukuna. I mean, I don't even think he would be good against a sorcerer like Kashimo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she would get fried by him, and he was no match for Sukuna. So I guess it's fair to feel like she's not the savior that, maybe I may have been propping her up to be. Okotsu was though, and he did it. He fucking did it, man. He used Sukuna's technique against him and all that. He said, "Yeah, I ate that finger," and I wasn't. He didn't get like. Actually, why didn't he get possessed? That's weird.
Because one finger is not enough by a long shot.
It was enough for Itadori.
Yeah, that one
he had no
time.
cursed energy or anything.
But like one
Plus,
thing.
I feel like Sukuna. I think Sukuna is more present in other places, so maybe it's not enough for one finger to do it.
True. Maybe because he's already like.
It's like a small portion of
fully
his
manifested power. As a curse.
Yeah,
I get it. He's already present somewhere else.
Sukuna has also said that if Megumi way back in the beginning of the series when he was about to use Maharaga on him, if he used it then Sukuna would have lost. So it indicates that like one finger is not nearly enough to overpower someone, especially someone like Okotsu.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to drone on. I'll probably just react to what you guys say. So, Brian, what were your thoughts?
Let's see. What is there to be said? Man, there's so much to happen this chapter. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. There's so much that was jam-packed into this. So you know what? I'll talk about Itadori. Because there's a lot of odd shit going on with this guy right now. His reverse curse technique has been probably the best we've seen in the series so far. Like, it's on par with Gojo at this point. Because he is healing so much for someone who doesn't have any curse technique. Well, apparently not, because now he has the blood, the piercing blood stuff.
Yeah, he's able to use piercing blood because I guess he's vaguely related to Choso because of Kenjaku.
Yeah, but that would I don't know. I don't think it's like that because Kenjaku wasn't in Noritoshi body when he was.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's where that's the only way I can connect it is because Kenjaku, probably some of the technique has worn off on him because he has inhabited that body for so long.
I think there's something else going on.
Couldn't Kenjaku also use blood? I don't remember the battle between him and Yuki, but I vaguely remember him using that technique as well. But let me see.
I think Kenjaku is the key to what's going on with Yuji, but I don't think it's because of Noritoshi bloodline. I think it's something else. There's something about Yuji that he was made, like the way he was made, that allows him to use multiple curse techniques.
Hold on. I have a thought. I'm sorry, but like the two original brothers, right, that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
Were they like the children while Kenjaku was the head of that clan?
Mm-hmm. Wait, can you ask that again?
He's asking if the cursed death wombs are also Noritoshi.
Yeah, he did experiment on them. He was experimenting with the death paintings while he was Noritoshi.
Oh, but Yuji happened after he was. Okay,
yeah,
so
Yuji
the
was
first,
a different
at least
mother.
those three. Okay, so those first three, which is Choso.
Yeah, he said. It says I looked up Kenjaku specifically. It says he experimented with the fusion of human flesh and curses. And that's what the death painting wombs are.
And Itadori wasn't a death painting womb,
no.
But he has a connection with them because of Kenjaku, but not with the blood technique the way the other three brothers would. Mm-hmm. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Sukuna could use other people's techniques. He was using the piercing blood.
Let me see.
And it's not like he did anything crazy with the blood. Maybe he just used it a bit. It's interesting. Or, I have an idea. Or maybe it was Okotsu that made it happen with the blood. No, that
No.
doesn't make sense actually, because he would have had to use his own blood.
Okay, the curse womb death.
And that's
paintings.
and we literally see. Yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts, boys. Those are my thoughts. I'll be right back.
Okay, so the death paintings are stated to have a total of 3 parents. So they're all Kamo, I think. Because they all do use blood arts. So, you know, Choso, Eso, and Kichizu, the original 3 that we saw, they all use blood techniques of some sort. So I think, you know, maybe
I wonder if Kenjaku carries over the past curse techniques that he inhabited.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
If he carries those over, that would we're trying to validate why Itadori all of a sudden can use some this blood technique. It clearly was him activating it. He did something with his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that to be the case.
Okay,
I just need to understand why.
Due to Kenjaku having survived until the present, switching bodies, Yuji Itadori has also been counted by Choso as one of the siblings, due to Yuji's mother being Kenjaku's previous hosts. Yeah.
Like in an episode of Maury or something.
Yeah, I mean, that guy got a lot of kids.
Who are the parents? What is their connection?
Yeah. I guess I'll get into my my thoughts. I thought this fucking ruled, obviously. Huge fan of this. Ever since Sukuna manifested, the series has been at an all-time high, and I think it cements Sukuna himself as like one of the top villains of all time, I would say, because
of all time, yeah.
And you know, we don't know much about him, and he is kind of a simple character, but that's not a bad thing at all. I think there's like complexity in his simplicity because he's just like a guy who lives like a curse, but he is human. He lives for his own like self-interest and all that stuff. And even he starts to have doubts about his own philosophy of always living for yourself and, you know, never having like a concrete goal in mind, just trying to get out the most pleasure you can in this world while you're in it. And him just being this weird like presence over the series, like every time he showed up until this point has been such a gravitational moment. Whenever he shows up, you feel it. You're like, oh my God, not this guy.
Yeah.
And that's the mark of a great villain, to be honest. I don't need my villains to be like ultra complex and all that stuff. As long as they're effective and have like this overwhelming like gravity to them, I think that's an effective character overall. That being said, I desperately hope he doesn't win because I can't be depressed for very long. It would make me very sad. It does make it.
Same.
I think the thing is about Jujutsu Kaisen is that I think it's one of the first series where I'm literally like, this may just end up with everyone losing. Because
the two main characters just lost, so
yeah, it also could, you know, turn out okay and everybody's fine. But man, I haven't felt a genuine sense of like suspense in a while. Not since Death Note, really. Where I'm like, oh, he could really get away with this. I'd be shocked if he does, even saying that, but I think it's more likely than in any other series in Jump right now where the bad guy just wins. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this goes. Because I don't even know where you take it from here. Megumi doesn't have the will to be freed. They can't force him out. He needs to want to come, it seems. So, man, I don't even know how you win in this situation.
yeah, I was actually like I was thinking a little bit while Brian was talking, and I think Megumi's out of here. I mean, yeah, Megumi's gone. That's it. I mean, he 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 bathed in the nasty bath. Can't forget that. It's a big deal. He watched his sister get killed. He watched Gojo get killed by his own, with major help from his technique.
Yeah, that's for all intents and purposes his
He's
dad.
devastated. Yeah.
His dad and his sister killed
And,
by the same guy in his body.
It would have been nice for him to know that, like, when the soul was getting rocked, he was feeling it and knew, like, that they was going as hard as they could to fight, but I guess he's in that sunken place, and I mean, we don't gotta do the sound effect for him yet or nothing, but
I think as long as
if
Sukuna's
Maki
alive,
kills him, it's over.
I think as long as Sukuna's alive, Megumi is gonna live. So because like Sukuna is still using his body, even though he looks like him.
Yeah.
And they did mention,
But like they said, it's hard. It's hard for him to not die too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had to go a really specific way to try to, bring Megumi out while simultaneously taking Sukuna out. Now they just probably have to kill both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the timing that Maki is on.
Yeah.
Maki's like, all right, well, we tried. Guess you both gotta die now. I've killed Zenin before.
Yeah, she has.
I am excited to see Maki versus Megumi. Maki versus Sukuna, because I'm wondering how good that would be. I know, like, I don't expect Maki to win, but she's not nothing. Even like Heavenly Restriction still isn't no joke, and Sukuna's heavily weakened. At least.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as he can't use his domain, I think that's what they're like banking on.
Mm-hmm.
Gojo helped with that at least.
I returned.
Hello, Brian.
Where are we at now?
We were just talking about Maki and how she's like, well, I guess you both gotta die.
Maki the goat. Well, I think Megumi is gonna end up like saving the series.
I would hope so.
He's gonna be the key to like denying Kenjaku's thing, because the convergence got sent to Megumi, not to Sukuna.
Oh.
So if they get Sukuna out of Megumi, then Megumi is the one who's in control of what happens with the merger.
Yeah, but then they still have to deal with Sukuna.
Chris and I, yeah. Well, yeah, Chris and I just talked about how like it's really not looking good for Megumi. I think he's gone personally, but
nah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on that yet.
Megumi's potential, man. He can't die here. We've seen what his potential could be from what Sukuna did with his curse technique.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, he has all the potential in the world, but man, he doesn't want to live anymore.
He'll reignite it.
He's over it.
Yuji is gonna get through to him.
Yuji is sushi right now.
No, he's not. His reverse curse technique is actually out of this world. He's gonna get back up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I also doubt that Yuta is too fucked up either. I feel like there's a lot of fail-safe stuff that he has in his curse technique with Rika that would allow him to survive. Something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Is he going to be the same after? Probably not for a bit, but he's definitely not dead. I'm going to say for sure he's not dead.
Yeah. But man, what a battle, huh?
Yeah, this is such a good chapter, art-wise, choreography-wise, story-wise. He's just hitting on every fucking level, this guy.
Yeah. Beastly series, but yeah,
Absolutely fucking beastly.
absolutely beastly. All right. Well,
Beastly.
I'm ready to move on if you guys are.
Yes.
Alrighty. Let's move onward. Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Josh.
Undead Unluck, chapter number 195. On your mark. Last week, the crew was getting it on and popping with Beast. And he was having their way with them. Fuko, Unbreakable, and Top had just joined the fight against Beast, and they're gonna, try their hardest. But we start this week with a little backstory from, I guess, when Haruka, also known as Unbreakable, was making Top shoes, and he's like, why are you using your ability to make like shoes? And she's like, it's not war times anymore. I want to make things that support and protect people's lives. So, Top makes a good point to saying like, yo, if you used to get captured like by a gang, they could probably force you to make unbreakable weapons, and that would be crazy. And I was like, yo, that's, like Haruka can't like fight that well. She can't beat a whole gang of people. She could just sit there and block hits. But if they capture her, anyway, I just thought that was a good point. But we cut back over to Fuko and the rest of the crew fighting against Beast, and Top had landed a drop kick from several miles away, right on Beast with his unbreakable shoe. So he's like, yeah, Haruka told me about Umas and how they govern rules and all that. And he's like, listen, let's stop this, right? We're not going to encroach on your turf anymore. We'll pull out, so let us off the hook. When I tell you, Fugo looks back at Top like, what? And then like
Excuse
even
me?
Beast is like, huh? He's basically like saying, look, like we go coexist, right? We'll just divide our turf and we'll never mess with the mountains, all right? What I'm saying is, and then right as Top is trying to say, oh, let's stop, Beast pulls right up to them and attacks them while Unbreakable is blocking them. And Top's like, why? And I thought it was Fuko that said this, but it was actually Beast when he's like saying, "What the hell are you talking about?" I thought that was Fuko at first. That would be really funny. But so Beast looks crazy with his snake eye, and he's like, "Beast don't desire coexistence. We were born to make humans suffer." And he kind of goes on this spiel about saying how, like, look, the world began with only man and earth, right? And then like your souls was placed here and was prepared by God. And then like as he started adding all of those rules, um, humans started to suffer more. And then when God got tired of the humans just bickering with each other, he added beasts. And it was all just for his entertainment. And again, all the rules were geared towards your continued suffering. Which we already knew God was an asshole in this series, right? But this is like I don't have the words to describe how petty and shiced. If you guys do,
The pure petty shice.
please, I believe Beast. I think that's exactly why we already know it's a game for God and also Luna. They ain't off the hook either. Anyway, tigers pull up. And Tyler's like, what the fuck? There ain't no tigers in this region. And he's like, listen, man, I'm Beast. I tell them all to pull up. And plus, y'all was slacking and let all these other rules for animals get released. So this is the penalty you'll have to incur. Whatever. So Top is like running away. And then as he's talking all that shit, Fugo hits him with a bad bullet 88. And she's like, look, it's not like we've been losing, all right? We realize none of us can win this fight alone. So each time we've formed alliances, taken the weapons, and fought back against the, beast in nature and stuff. So she's like, Top, listen, I hit on one of those good ones. And what I mean by that is a meteor's about to fall. So get the fuck out of here. Get out of town, bro. Matter of fact, get out this country. She said a meteorite. So as she's talking all that shit, Beast pulls up and like grabs her face. And Beast we crazy enough, we see he has unbreakable, like he has like this black armor like all around his body and shit. And he's like, we beasts eat and assimilate our food's power. Which I mean, I guess humans do too, but we don't absorb.
Yeah, we don't eat people.
Yeah, that's kind of not fair, but whatever. We already established that's not the case. So yeah, he ate a piece of Haruka. I guess, I don't know, her ear or something. Whatever, that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's losing Unbreakable, like herself, but the Uma Unbreakable, the Rule Beast starts talking about how, look, the Era Man is over, right? Like with this unbreakable armor, I'm gonna restore times of loose past when we laid waste to you. It's like, thanks, Unbreakable. Then Julia comes out of nowhere and is like, yo, Top, get up out of here. I'm gonna hold him off. And then Top goes again and he says, you win, Beast. He's like, please let us off the hook. But this time he's not really trying to surrender. He actually takes up Unbreakable's armor and bashes into Beast to knock him off of Fuko. And he says, Haruka's unbreakable or you're unbreakable. Let's see which is stronger, Beast. So, and that's the end of the chapter, man. It's looking like Beast, Top is gonna use the unbreakable armor. Kind of like he did in the previous loop. Well, anyway, what's your thoughts, Chris?
Oh man. Oh, I thought it was really cool. It's so funny, the pettiness of God is just like, I'm tired of them killing each other. I'll just make things that kill them also.
Yeah, so they could team up.
Yeah.
And then still lose and stuff. Or maybe win in the fight. He just, it's all for his sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he mentions the other rules that were added, like death and luck and war. And I'm wondering if some of these are just the master rules as well. Like if there's a luck master rule among them.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I bet it's that real cool guy.
Yeah.
That doesn't take things that serious.
Yeah, he's super cool.
With the light sword. Because they have War. We've seen War already.
Yeah, War is that one guy with the nuclear weapons. So.
Yeah, so you might be on the sign there.
Yeah.
I are actual other rules.
Yeah, I enjoyed this chapter quite a bit. It was the talking of the beast and how they were here to make us miserable. It was like, well, not my cats though. My cats are sweetie pies.
Well, sometimes. Like Coco likes to make me miserable sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this chapter overall. I did enjoy it. I'm excited to see how this happens. I feel like, because it's not the authentic Unbreakable, that the armor is actually going to break at some point.
Well, no, it is armor made by Unbreakable. Oh, you're talking about Beast.
Yeah, I'm talking about Beast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I figured
he's got that foo shit, yo. he got a green chain on and some green armor.
Yeah, he bought it on a street corner somewhere.
Yeah, he got that shit on Canal Street.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for what comes next. I thought it was a pretty cool chapter, but everything else went so crazy today that I'm like kind of numb to other chapters at this point. It was like everything else was so crazy. But yeah, pretty good. Josh, what did you think?
This was an interesting chapter for sure. I feel like Top realized immediately, like, okay, it shouldn't be survival of the fittest. We'll just try to be fair about this and logical. And Beast is like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I thought that was pretty funny. And they really drove the point home for Top. But then he, like, you know, shysted him at the end, you know, trying to trick him. So that was cool. That was smart on Top's end. I don't know. Fuko's wild, and she can't just be summoning meteorites like left and right like that, or announcing it so willy nilly. Why not? Like, maybe don't tell Beast. He looks fast enough. You know what I'm saying? He looks fast enough to get away. That's just my opinion, but cool fight. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that it? Is that it for Undead Unluck?
Yeah.
Well, that was it. That's Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. Please do. That would be super cool. Like, share, all that stuff. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer it on a pre-show chat show that we do usually every week. You can listen to the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts if you prefer audio podcasts anyway. At iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. I know we're supposed to introduce a new series today, but, you know, time constraints and all that stuff. So next week we'll be debuting a new series on the lineup. Very excited for that, so tune in for that. And without further ado, thank you guys so much for listening again. Take care and stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, yeah.
Bye.